Hello, everyone. Welcome to StoneEdge Connect 2025. My name is Miriam Omar, and today we are going to be talking about data imports so that everyone can import data like a pro. So, a little bit about myself. I am Miriam Omar. I have been working with StoneEdge for past 2.5 years now. I'm working with client services, client experience team, and over the course of past 1 year, I have noticed I have worked on a lot of cases regarding data import. So I thought I will use this opportunity to talk about how can we effectively use templates to import data and then also to update data. So in today's presentation, I'm going to walk you through the process of data import using templates, which is pretty standard, basically where you download the template and then use that template to import that data. But as a consultant, my personal favorite tool to do data import is creating a template using views, which I feel like a lot of people do not know about. You can create a view, you can create a template from that view, and then use that view to import or update data. But there are a few important considerations you need to keep in mind while using a view to update data. So I will make sure that I don't forget to mention all those things. So with this, I'm gonna transition to my demo environment and walk you through the process of data import. First using templates and then using views. So let's get started. So I'm in my sales trial environment and I decided to show you how to import data in an account entity or update data in an account entity because I feel like this is a pretty common practice where people frequently update their accounts or import new data into their accounts. So for this one, we're going to first start with importing the data using data import template using data management. So I'm in my sales environment and I'm going to go to this gear icon. Once I click on it, I will navigate to advanced settings. And when I click on advanced setting, it will basically lead me to the new modern interface of Power Platform environment settings. And then I will navigate to system. Under system, I will go to data management. And this is where basically I will be going in and creating a data template. So once I'm here, I'm gonna click on templates for data import. And once I click on this, this window will pop up where basically the system will ask me which entity I want to create a template for. It is taking a little bit time to load. And once you select the entity, then you will be able to download the template. So let's say for my demo purposes, we're going to use the account entity. And then I'm going to click on download. So what it does, it basically, when you create a template using data management, what it does, it create a template and bring all the fields that are being used in that account entity. So a lot of time you do not need to need all these fields. So basically what you can do is you can basically get rid of those fields, or you can just let those fields stay in in the template and just fill in the fields that you really need. So let's say for the demo purposes, my account, I'm not going to delete any fields. I'm going to let all these fields stay. I'm just going to go and fill in the fields that I'm interested in. I'm going to say, okay, the account is storage software. If you fill in the owner field, then the accounts will be assigned to that person. But if you leave the owner field blank, then if and I am the person who is uploading this template, then all the records that are imported as a part of this import, they will be assigned to me. So let's say I'm going to fill in a little bit more details. I'm going to say, oh, there are a lot of fields. I'm going to just add account number. And If you're gonna use this template frequently, my advice would be just get rid of all these extra columns that you don't need and just keep the columns that you need and then reuse this template again and again. So I'm gonna say the city is Redmond and I am gonna say the state is Washington. This is basically where I live, so I'm gonna add that. And then I'm just gonna add the country as USA. And I'm just gonna create another record using the same fields. I'm gonna say it's New York, and it's gonna be Bronx, pardon my spelling, and then it's gonna be 47869. I'm just creating random data. And then I'm gonna name this account as Ocean Pacifica. Okay, I'm gonna save this, save as, and let's save it on the desktop. I'm gonna save this and I'm just gonna close this. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my accounts and it doesn't matter which view you are in. What you're gonna do is you're gonna click on these three dots. And now I'm going to go back to now I'm back in my Dynamics. Once you have downloaded the template and imported data in that template, what you're going to do is you will go back to your Dynamics and open your accounts. It doesn't matter which view you are in. You're going to click on import from Excel. And then we're going to go and select the Excel file that we'll be importing. I'm gonna go and do that was account imports. Click open. And because I am the person who is importing this data, it is choosing me as the owner for the imported records. Let's go next. And if you're okay creating duplicates in your system, that you can set it to yes, but by default it is a no, that you don't want to create duplicates. So make sure that this is set to no, and then at this end you're going to review your mapping. But because we have created a template using data management, you might not run into a lot of mapping issues unless there are some option fields. You need to make sure that they are mapping correctly. The account name is mapping to account name. The account number is mapping to account number. City is mapping to city. Country is mapping to country region. So you just make sure to review these quickly and to make sure that these are the fields that you want in your Dynamics. I'm going to click on finish import. And what it will do is it basically will start the import process. I'm going to click on track progress. Once I click on track process, it will open a new window for me where basically I can track how my import is proceeding. So currently you can see it is submitted. But if I refresh this, then you will see it's now parsing, and it might, depending on the quantity of your data, it might take few minutes, or generally it's pretty quick, but depending on your data, it might take few minutes. So I'm just gonna go and do refresh one more time. And now it is telling me that there are total number of 2 records and now they are being transformed. And if I refresh this one more time, it's imported. So this is basically all the processes that the data is going through during the import. And the last step is basically the import step. And now it's completed. If I go back, and I'm just gonna do Control F5. Because I was the system owner, now I see that I have those, my number of records are 15. And let's say I'm going to do edit columns and add created on. just to show you how those records look into the system. And I'm going to filter by the day if I apply. So these are basically the two records that I created. You can see Ocean Pacifica and StoneNet software, and the city address and all the information that I added. So it looks pretty straightforward. It's not too complicated. The only thing is that there are a lot of columns that come that are in the template when you're downloading this template. So you need a little bit of time to basically clean up that data template for your needs. And this brings me to my second topic, basically importing the data using a view. So, as a consultant, this is my favorite way of doing data imports. When I'm doing data imports for a client, that's how I do it. And what do I mean by that? So, let's say I'm in my account entities, and these are the five fields. These are five fields in my view: the account name, main font, city, contact, and primary contact. But let's say I am just interested in the state and country. I'm gonna do account number. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna arrange them a little bit to give them a cleaner look. And for the demo purpose, let's say I'm not interested in a primary contact or primary contact email. So these are the five fields that I need to fill in when I am basically creating new accounts or updating new accounts. So this I have created a view which basically has all the fields that I need for the data import. So I'm just gonna save as new view, and I'm gonna call it a data import view just for my own knowledge so that I know I'll be using this imports view for data imports. And just I'm a system admin, and I created this. And you don't have to be a system admin to create personal views. It will be saved as a personal view in your system. And you see this person sign, it means it's a personal view. No one in your organization will have access to this view unless you share it with that person. So let's say now I will be using this view as a template to create a template, then to update, to import or update new records. So let's get started. So what I'm gonna do next is basically I will be using this view to import the data. So the first step is I'm gonna click on export to Excel. And this will basically download this view with all the data. Let's change the sensitivity level. Now you can see I have a view. So now you see that the Excel file has all the columns that I added in min view and with all the data. So you can see the column starts with D, E, F, G, H, I. You see the column start with D. So what it means is basically there are these three hidden items, three hidden columns. Basically, the column A contains the GUID of that account, unique identifier. So when you're using creating a template using a view, you need to make sure that you select all these rows and not just get rid of the data. You need to make sure that you basically delete all those rows, because if you're not going to delete them, these first three columns they are hidden, so you don't generally see them unless you know about them. So if you do not delete these rows and you make changes to you add information in this file, they will basically not create new records. They are gonna be updating the existing records based on the GUID. So whenever you are creating a view to create a template to import data, you need to make sure that you delete all the rows that are in that Excel file. And then you can also, once you do that, you can also delete these columns if you need. Otherwise, you can just let them be. But if you are basically updating the existing records accounts, then you do not need to delete these rows. You can basically just come in to this Excel file, make changes and upload it back. What it will do is it will basically update those accounts with and not create new account. So let's say in this case, I'm gonna create, now I'm using this view to create a import the data, and I see I still have one line. I'm just gonna, so let's create an account using this template. I'm gonna say test, and this is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 5, 4, 4, 1, 4, 7, 8, 9. I'm just gonna use one account. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save as, and save this record. So I have saved the record, and now I'm going to import it. It does not matter which view you are in. You can come back to the Dynamics 365. We're going to click on import from Excel, and we're going to follow the same process to basically do the import. I'm going to click next, and I'm not going to allow duplicates. You can quickly review mapping, but in this case, because we had limited fields, so it's very easy to just quickly review the fields that you want to bring in the data. So I'm going to click on finish import. Once I click on finish import, it will basically ask me that it's started, and I can track it once I click on that process. It's just one record, so it shouldn't be taking too long. I'm just going to refresh it to see how does it look. It's still in submitted state. So I personally feel like this is much easier to use a view, because you can basically modify your view to have only those fields which you really need to import or update data. You do not need to basically have all those extra fields. And you can just reuse, you can create one copy of this template and reuse anytime you have to update data. Just make sure you delete those existing records because there are GUIDs which are hidden. And if you don't delete them, it will basically, instead of creating new records, it will basically update those records. So that is one critical things that you need to keep in mind while you are creating a template using a view. So I'm going to go back to my imports, and I'm just going to do refresh, and looks like it's completed without any errors. If I go back to my accounts, I'm just gonna refresh this and see. Now I should have 16 accounts in my view, and I can see there are 16 accounts. Just to make sure that which account was it, I'm just going to apply a filter, and I'm just adding, showing you this created on thing just to another way to see, quickly have a look at all the data that basically you wanted to import. So I can see that basically first two records are the ones that I imported using the template which was created as a part of data management tool. And the last one is the one where I created a view first and then use that view to create a template and then use that template to upload that data. I personally love data imports. I feel like once you learn it, it's pretty much fun. I really enjoyed doing this session for all of you, and I hope you enjoy watching this session and you learn something from it. Please feel free to reach out to me and anyone at StoneRidge if you have any data related questions. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.